Minash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamu-alaikum and a very warm welcome to World This Morning. Eid Mubarak to everyone who is celebrating out there. I'm your host Hajra Sati and joining me is my wonderful co-host who happens to be Fahim Bangesh. Assalamu-alaikum Fahim. Eid Mubarak to you and everyone who is celebrating out there.
Walaikum assalam and khair Mubarak. Obviously it's a festive occasion, it's a happy occasion, a celebratory occasion, and I believe that कहते हैं ना उर्दू में हक अदा करना, we should definitely celebrate it to the maximum in order for us to enjoy, because it's a celebration given to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I believe that it should be celebrated with its true spirit, with its, as they say, letter in spirit, and we will do that in our program as well, and we already are doing that in our daily lives. So yes, Eid Mubarak to us and to all of you who are watching us.
And I think the best thing about this particular Eid and the way Allah has designed this entire system is, for him, if you look out there, that how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made this particular Eid to fulfill I think the protein needs of those of the people who are underprivileged, right? So when we do the qurbani, when we sacrifice the animal, so those people who are unable to get that meat the entire year because they are poor, because they are unable to get it, I think it's a day for them to enjoy and to have that meat too. And through this particular Eid, you will see how there's circulation of the meat goes into the society, and this is the best thing about the Eid, especially on the Choti Eid. You will see that that is called Eid al-Fitr, right? So we do the Fitrana, so there's a circulation of money going on, and this is such a beautiful concept, this is such a beautiful idea to uphold, particularly as a Muslim. But Fahim, I have a question for you. So what sort of an animal do you sacrifice, and do you yourself go or your wife helps you in picking and choosing one, or you take your son with you? Because as a kid I do remember that we were fond of picking and choosing the animal, right?
Definitely take my son with me. Right. He gets extremely excited,
right,
and he's really good friends with his cousin, my brother-in-law's son. So we all go together.
Okay.
And it's a very good affair. It's a family thing for us. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I don't go alone.
Okay.
It's no fun going alone, really. And
is it fun going in I mean, times of this inflation and scorching heat?
Well, if you talk about the heat and inflation and money related issues, yes, it's not fun. But overall, if you look at it, the spirit behind it, the family unity behind it, so yeah, that part of it, it's fun.
Right.
A lot of fun.
Right. And I think we are going to have a lot of fun today in our program too.
And the children are even learning the, Donda and
the bargaining
terminologies,
yes, and the bargaining tricks, right? And if you happen to be Pathan, so you have some extra
the edge of Pashto language. Exactly.
Yes, and that is why it is incumbent upon every one of us to learn Pashto so that they can get good discounts, right? But yes, I mean, this is a very interesting aspect of our society. So particularly when we talk about fun, when we talk about the games, we are going to have that not just today, but the entire day. You are going to see the programs on PTV World, so stay tuned.
I thought you were going to say the entire day we're going to play games.
I mean, if you want to, we can. So I think without further monopolizing our conversation, let's introduce our guests and let's ask that how do they celebrate their Eid. And this is the sacrificial Eid, because we sacrifice the animals out there in the spirit of Hazrat Ibrahim, because in his pure act of devotion, I think I would call it blind devotion, he was ready to sacrifice his beloved son in the way of, in the commandment of the God, and how God replaced his son with an animal, and in the spirit of that particular sacrifice we celebrate it. And we're also going to explore that, is that spirit still intact in the society, and how can we enhance and improve it, right? So without any further ado, we are very glad that we have been joined by Ms. Sadia Feroz Malik. She happens to be the Director of Women Protection Authority in Punjab. Assalamu alaikum, Eid Mubarak to you.
Walaikum assalam. Thank you very much for inviting me on your show.
Eid Mubarak
to you. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Khair Mubarak.
And joining Ms. Sadia, we have Harun Shoaib Saab. He's a media and culture commentator. He's a blogger. You must have seen him on television as well, and on the internet platforms as well. So Harun Saab, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to PTV World and Eid Mubarak.
Thank you so much for inviting, and Eid Mubarak to you as well.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. And finally, we have Miss Shazia Abbas with us, and Miss Shazia Abbas is an entrepreneur, and we will be talking about. I love talking to entrepreneurs when it comes to Eid, because Eid is a different kind of a business. It's a family business, and how do you join the two? How do you mix the two? Do you take time out? Do you take a leave? Because job people, they take a leave, right?
True.
But what about the entrepreneurs? We will be talking about that too. But ma'am, assalamu alaikum and Eid
Walaikum
Mubarak.
salam. Eid Mubarak to you.
It's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you so much for inviting me today.
Right.
I'm honored.
Right. So, Miss Adhiya, how do you celebrate your Eid, and what is, Eid ritual at your home? Because as a woman, we are invested in setting up that dining tables. Usually, Eid is the time, the festivity where we are meeting and greeting our relatives, and usually we are hosting dinners or lunches or breakfast or gatherings at a family. So generally, do you put an effort in, setting out your dining table? So, what is your Eid ritual?
Eid is a very, very busy day for women, obviously, because they are very over occupied on Eid day, as they are dealing with the kids and cooking and dealing with the guest as well. So Eid day goes very busy, but I do remember my childhood Eids when we used to visit our village, and there was get together, and a lot of fun there, and we have been waiting to go for Eid the whole year, that we will go there and will flax our goats and lambs. So a lot of fun. But now I think Eid is not like that. As digitalized era, so I must say we get ready for Eid and then we get busy in the kitchen, but I am very lucky to have very sportive in-laws and sister-in-laws. They all manage in kitchen because it's very hard to cook in this hard season, and to serve the whole day to guests. So I am very lucky that they all support me, and obviously it goes very busy.
Actually, I say all those people, all those ladies, or maybe gents who cook in the kitchen in this weather, in this heat,
Exactly.
they should be given an award.
Exactly,
Really.
exactly.
I mean, we're all sitting in the AC or the fans or coolers or whatever, and they're busy, serving the entire family. Fine.
And
Please acknowledge them. Please acknowledge them.
Thank you so very much. At least you acknowledged.
And since Harun Saab, coming back to you now, since Hajra has made it a bit gender specific, she's been asking this to a lot of guests that the term we has been used by Hajra.
When you set out the table, usually I don't see men doing it, right? And it's not gender specific.
Not
Men
all
do it,
men,
and-
Hajra, come on, there are men who love to cook and enjoy cooking and serving.
I'm talking about setting up the table.
Table,
Yeah, that too, I think, I enjoy,
I haven't seen
entertaining
anyone, so
guests.
that's why, it's coming from my
But
experience.
since we've become gender specific a bit here, talking about gender roles on Eid al-Azha, tell me your activities pre-Eid and on the Eid day. What do you do?
So Eid is like Sadia was saying, it's a great time for family bonding, family reunions. Everybody takes time off and to connect. So there's a lot of food, there's a lot of excitement. New clothes for everyone, kids especially, they get very excited with new clothes. And for me, because I like to keep an eye out on media and what's happening on the media landscape also, because I blog and I have to write and then I have to review films and so on.
Okay.
So, a couple of films I'm looking forward to catching this year also, but every year, going to cinema, watching a couple of films at least, to be able to review them in the coming weeks. That is always on top of my list of
And I'm so
activities.
excited this Eid al-Azha, obviously. We're
Yeah, we have
looking forward
5-6
to
films coming out.
Yes.
And can you tell us about them?
Of course, I'm excited about, Nabaligh Afraad, Nabil's production. Nabil is a great director, Nabil and Fiza, they have done Na Malum Afraad. So now they're coming out with Nabaligh Afraad. So I'm really excited that what would that be? Then we have Abi, Gohar is coming in a film for the first time, and Kubra is there. So Abi would be a good one. And then Umru Yar, of course, how can we forget
Really
that?
looking forward to that one, yes.
Then there is Agent Maria, Meera on big screen, nothing like it. So Meera ji will be in the film. And then there's Manju Maria.
Okay.
So Agent Anila, Meera's film Agent Anila, and then Manju Maria. That is also another film that I'm looking forward to watching. So 5 films already on my list.
Okay, that's
and people are welcome to choose whichever one they want to.
I think we all should be looking forward to that, because we should be promoting our industry, and this is something that promotes the soft image of the country, not just here in the region, but all over the globe.
And Fahim, I mean, you will agree that we used to have a very vibrant cinema-going culture once upon a time, right? And I think that culture has been somehow invaded by the OTT and the streaming platforms like Netflix and all of that. And we see that people prefer, I mean, watching film at their homes instead of going to the cinemas. Number one, there, I mean, because of the price factor, and secondly, but I think we should all go out and enjoy the film, because cinema has its own culture, right? And there's a change of environment. You're going outside of the
charm of watching the film in a cinema.
Of course,
totally different.
It's always such a great family, entertainment avenue. You know, you for 3 hours you're transported into a different, universe. You're sitting in an air-conditioned hall, so that's good. And that's the time that the family can spend together. There's popcorn, there's soft drinks to have. So for kids, it's also very exciting. Umro Ayar is a great film to take kids to, because we have all grown up reading about Umro Ayar stories
and listening about those stories. Exactly. Now, moving forward, Ma'am Shazia, you happen to be an entrepreneur, and as I said in the beginning, when it comes to Eid, and especially Eid al-Azha, it's a busy affair, right? Do you take it off? Or do you work every day? Do you give time every day, and you have to take that chunk of time out? Be it any affair in the world, in the life, you have to take that time for your business. What do you do?
Okay, Eid is a busy affair, and I'm running a business, but I'm a wife also, I'm a mother also, so I have a house to look after. My husband and my son, they go out and buy that sacrificial animal, and then they give the meat, hand over the meat to me, and it's a busy affair. Then I take care of the meat, and then I cook dishes, and it's a family affair. Everybody comes to meet us, and they have food with us. But as it comes to business, yes, it gets busy, because I get a lot of orders, because since I'm making candle bouquets and mostly decorative candles, so people buy. I get more orders on Eid, so I don't take any off. It's I work double on Eid day, or obviously it's a festive occasion, so everybody is having new clothes, and we get ready, but it's a hustle bustle type of Eid for me, because I have to deliver orders as well. I don't take off on Eid as well. So but it's good. I'm happy overall, alhamdulillah, I'm happy.
And I think whenever we talk about Eid festivity, celebrating, so there's a very famous Urdu what do you call a couplet or a sher, that wajood zan se hai kainat mein rang paida. So when we talk about Eid preparations, when we talk about mehndi, churiyan, and the clothes and all of the stuff, when we get ready. So and I think I would like to ask all three of our guests, so when we talk about Eid shopping particularly, and the inflation that is there, when we talk about the very expensive Eid clothes, so what is your choice when it comes to buying your Eid clothes? I mean, do you prefer trendy clothes, or do you prefer comfortable clothes in this particular Eid? And when we talk about extremely high price ranges of the Eid clothes, right? So what is your opinion about it?
Hajra, it's so much difficult for everyone, I guess, in this time, that Eid shopping is really very hard to manage, because you have to buy a goat or some animal to sacrifice, the major thing, and then you have to manage children's clothes, and every other expenses like fuel and going to visit your relatives and all that. So inflation is a major factor. So this time we have to be very picky while doing shopping, and you need to have a variety of dresses, because when you are in kitchen you need to have a comfortable outfit. You can't go in kitchen with a fancy dupatta and chiffon dupattas. So and when you have to go to visit your relatives on Eid day, you need to have a fancy outfit. So you need variety and inflation. So it's it's a junk.
I would kind of endorse that statement because you're going for Eid prayers. Okay, wear all fancy clothing.
That's it.
Come back, get in the kasai
Kasai.
butcher.
It happens to everywhere, with everybody.
Right.
That you are on changing the whole day.
And Hanun, what about you? I mean, do you go out with your family members, with particularly the women of your household, to buy the Eid clothes?
Of course, one has to. There's no escaping that,
There's no option, Haji.
You have
You
to.
get married, you'll understand how to assert your authority on your husband.
First the wife and then the kids, of course. Now I have a teenager daughter and a
They don't
son,
give you any
so they don't give me a choice. I have to take them out. But yes, like Hadia
I
was
mean, do
saying,
you yourself accompany them? Because
Of
my
course.
father does not accompany us. So
No,
and
no,
I
no,
think
no,
it's a
no.
blessing because whenever
No,
he
no.
goes like,
Very-
choose one shop, go there, bring
And
the
bring
clothes
the
again.
clothes
And
back.
we have to survey the entire mall.
like I said, those are teenage children, So teenage is a very difficult age, So my daughter has her own choices. She has to go through 20 different shops to, select what she wants to wear. But the good thing is that, now children have become so conscious that,
Right.
she also, earlier used to go for brands and, big names and all. But now, I've seen that for the last 2-3 years, she has become so smart that she actually uses her own creativity. She gets loose fabric
Yes.
and then she designs her own clothes. She likes to do that. She enjoys
Right.
doing that. And similarly, for myself also, I prefer that
That's
I
the
get
best answer to
loose
inflation,
fabric
yeah.
and then, I get a kurta stitched or whatever, which I can wear on other occasions as well. So, it's also about not just wearing it once only, but, repurposing it and, also being a little more creative with it.
True.
And of course, because you have to manage the inflation factor.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think one thing, because I was having this conversation with my mother, and she talked about that, how 2-3 decades ago, and because my father was serving in the Quetta, and she talked about that she used to get a lot of blue crystals from there, and those
Right.
were the Irani products.
Yeah.
And she used to say that they costed us 100 rupees or maybe 50 rupees, and we used to get so much satisfaction, buying that, and every household used to have that,
Right.
right? And she says now that we buy, very expensive product, and we say, and maybe maza nahi aaya, ye lamp bada expensive hai, lekin kuch aur aa jaye to maza aa jaye, right? So I do feel because of this mass production, everything is
Yeah,
coming from
consumerism,
Exactly.
unbridled consumerism. I think people have lost value for money.
Right.
Little things used to give us a lot of joy. When
now
we were
they
kids,
don't.
When we were kids.
Eid clothes were like for the whole year. Every occasion you would wear the same Eid dress that you had bought.
Yeah,
exactly.
Wasn't it like that?
Experienced it.
Now kids don't value these little
and
things that
every
much.
area used to have its own speciality. So, for example, there was a Bhavalpur ki kadhai,
course,
then
yes.
there used to have the Quetta ki kadhai, Balochi
Exactly,
kadhai,
Balochi kadhai.
and my mother would used to say that we used to put a lot of effort in doing
Efforts
that,
in
right?
Exactly,
But now,
that-
because
yeah.
of mass production, you go to any brand, then you just pay
it
the
up.
money,
Yes,
buy it, and I mean the value of that.
I think a lot of tailors have also gone out of business because of that, because Eid was a time when tailors were really in
Happiest
demand.
people.
Celebrities at
Yeah,
the time
of
of
course.
Eid, yes.
Butchers and
So
tailors.
butchers and tailors.
Shazi
they are
Saiba,
doing
I'm sure you would also agree with the discussion that we're having here that, as far as consumerism is concerned, social media has a lot of role to play here, don't you think so? Because ever since the onset of social media, people have started looking all over the globe, what's in, what's out, and, that has led to us not being satisfied with what we have.
I agree with you. Mostly we are doing online shopping, and for the after COVID, most people are doing online shopping. Though actually I miss that activity. Like family is going, everybody is going out. My daughter, my son, with my husband, we were going out and do Eid shopping. But unfortunately, after COVID, we are stick to online shopping, mostly online. So Eid shopping is almost online, especially for me when time is very precious and we don't have, husbands are coming late from office and I'm busy with my stuff and kids are also busy. So mostly my kids also, spot the dress online and then we order. So I think it's not a bad thing because people are getting jobs, the courier, they are courier services, riders. So I think we are, I think online shopping, I would
yeah, it has
say
its own benefit,
sporting,
right?
Yes.
It does,
So
yes.
it does certainly. But
Yes.
I think the beauty of those old times when we
Yes, I miss that time. Yes.
that's very
Yes.
precious, something, because you used to get the homemade khadi pe bane hue kurte, and there were people who were actually employed
Yes.
making that, right?
Yes.
But now because of the mass production, they are being produced in factories and
and-
massive, I mean,
And I
production
don't think
houses.
you get that anymore.
No, not at all. And I think after some decades, it will just, die out. These
I
old
hope not.
outright-
I hope not.
I hope not.
we
I
can,
hope not.
save it in some way or form,
Right.
so that our coming generations can also cherish it.
Right.
Because those were beautiful memories that we have created along the
I
way.
kind of really feel bad for the coming generation because they would never really get to know what the actual spirit of Eid was all about. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right,
Exactly.
and I think now let's move to Miss Sadia. So Miss Sadia, I do remember when we were growing up, so there was this particular trend that we had to go to our village, or particularly when there were summer vacations going on, and there were Urdu letters that we used to write, and ke garmiyon ki chuttiyan aa gayi and then we have to go to our village. So the village life had its own charm. I mean, I don't see that trend nowadays because people have moved to cities, and there's a lot of disconnection with your own roots, right? So do you visit your own village on the Eid particularly, and do you have your fond memories from your childhood when you used to visit?
Thank you so very much for giving me this opportunity and chance to discuss my childhood memories with you on this platform. Actually, it was like we were always been knowing that we have to go our village on Eid.
Right.
And we have to celebrate there. And I still remember those days. We all cousins get togethers and very fancy outfits and eating together and meeting each other, and it was a very strong bond at that time. People are very connected at village, and now I take my kids to their village and they celebrate their Eid there, and it is such a pleasure. And now when I see them excited and celebrating their Eid with their relatives, it gives me such a pleasure.
Yeah.
Though Eid, these Eids are very different from all those Eids in our times. Yeah, we were manual generation and they are digitalized generation. So there is a lot of difference. They used to busy on the phones rather than playing together or visiting their relatives. They mostly spend their time indoors playing games on tabs and on these things. But Eids are different. But I used to take them to village so that they should know their roots. And
Actually, again, one of the reasons I really feel sad for the upcoming generation is because we used to feel that urge, to go and meet people in person. They don't have that urge. They can see them on the screens. Plus, if they get bored, they have a game to play. Of course, they have an activity to do here on the screen. So their lives are screens. Basically.
They are limited to it.
True.
So when my son wants to take a break from his laptop, he'll pick up the phone, and when he wants to, take a break from the phone,
It
then he
happens
would.
to everybody.
To video game, right?
Yesterday, I was talking to my son. I was like, "Listen, Shazib, don't you want to have a conversation?"
They have conversations.
He will
with
DM
them.
you, Fahim. He will DM you on your Facebook.
Yeah.
So Harun Sahib, do you feel that it's important to remain connected to
Of
your
course,
roots,
of course.
particularly when we talk
Obvious.
about village life?
Yeah.
And the village life is very different. So for example, you're consuming your food through the earthen pots, right?
Yes,
It
yes.
tastes very different,
Very
right?
different.
They're cooking the food on that earthen or mitti ke bartan,
Of
right?
course,
They're
yeah.
getting their water from that mitti ke bartan, and they had an expiry. For example, after a year, they were mostly
Yeah,
expired, and you
yeah.
can feel it, when the food is coming from.
So Haja, for us, for my family, because we come from Quetta, so it was summer break was all about getting ready, getting all the homework done very quickly, because my father was like, get the homework done, then I'll send you to Quetta. And within 15 days we would finish all our homework for the summer break,
Right.
and then he would fly us to Quetta. And those 2 months in Quetta, they were like such fond memories that every year we would be looking forward to going to Quetta.
Do you mind sharing some?
Yeah, like the food in Quetta is amazing, meat,
Yes.
meat lovers heaven is Quetta, all kinds of food. Then shopping is great there, and I remember Balochi
Hashmi
chappals,
market, yeah.
Balochi chappals, those the ones
They're
that Fahim is
amazing
wearing,
chappals,
something similar to that. They are amazing.
Yes.
So every Eid we would have a shalwar kameez and then a Balochi chappal had to sort of be worn with it. So those were really, really fond memories that we collected. And now sometimes, because the academic cycles have also changed, so actually students finish one cycle before their summer break. So summer break is they don't have any homework, and
I was talking about
Yeah,
this the other
yeah.
day. Yes.
so it's a different cycle, academic cycle now. But still the charm of going back and spending Eid in hometowns, villages, like Sadia was saying, nothing beats that.
Ms. Shazia, do you agree with this notion and assertion? Because you belong to also mountainous area, right?
Yeah.
And do you mind sharing some of your fond childhood memories of your Eid celebration?
My forefathers, they were from Kashmir, Indian occupied Kashmir.
Right.
But my nani ka ghar, that was my mother is from Lahore.
Right.
So we all used to go to celebrate Eid in Lahore, and somebody was coming from Karachi, somebody was coming from Peshawar, and all khalas and mamus, they were used to get there, and we were 18-20 cousins, and it was like my nani's house, it turned upside down when we went there, but she was happy. She used to cook food for us, and we used to play. There was no screen at that time, so we used to play board games and some games and outdoor games like kho and hopscotch and stuff like that, and we used to enjoy that. The bond that we have, family bond, only because of that time we spent together, all cousins, at a nani ka ghar. So nani ka ghar was the center point, or I think my children, they miss, because now my sister, I'm the only one here. My brother and sisters, they are in UK, so they don't come. We don't. Yes, so my children, they don't have any nani ka ghar.
That center point, the gravity point.
Point. And but I'm very fortunate. We all cousins, and we are still very strong bond only because of that nani ka ghar. And we still, whenever we meet together, we discuss our childhood memories. So that was actually the real Eid that I enjoyed, and I think my kids, they don't have that experience. So
Which is really sad if you think about it, really.
Yeah.
Now, if I talk to Ms. Sadia, do you think the spirit of Eid, when we talk about the spirit of Eid, when we talk about the sacrifice spirit of Hazrat Ibrahim, do you think that spirit is still alive somewhat in today's world, in some people perhaps?
Fahim, you answered your question by yourself because it is, it doesn't mean that we should follow these things only on Eid. This Eid teaches you to sacrifice. It is a lesson of sacrifice for God's sake, and it was a lesson of obedience to Allah, and it was a lesson of charity. But you know what, the true spirit of Eid is unfortunately doesn't exist, because we go to share some meat and we think that we have done with our sacrifice,
duty, yes,
and we have done our duty. It is about the charity, that the people around you have to take care of them. The people in need, you need to support them, otherwise too, after Eid even. But I think that this Eid is specified to get the meat, fill the fridge, and cook yum foods and all that. But I think this Eid message is beyond all this. And we need to understand that. We should teach our kids even that what the Eid's purpose is actually.
Yeah, again, it's our duty. But again, I think we've had this serious conversation quite a lot. I think we should play a little game here now, shall we?
Sure.
Okay, so the game's called Never Have I Ever.
Okay.
And before we play, we have to keep our hand on the chest and say, I solemnly swear that I shall not lie.
I shall not lie.
She'll try not to lie.
So you need to pass this on. So we have this yes and no. We will answer it, and you have to tell us, is it a yes or is it a no? Okay, for you, so you can also
is there a maybe? If we do this, is it a maybe?
In this game, white or black? All right. So the first question's coming right here. This is, never have I ever re-gifted a gift.
I did.
I did.
Yes.
We all have.
We all have.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
You don't get good gifts? Okay.
No, but you know, it's better to
I give good
re-gift it.
things to others.
You know,
I
it's better
share
to give it
good
to
things with
somebody
others.
who really needs it and who
Yeah.
would like to put it,
Exactly.
you know,
Then
on
just-
display or
then
use it
just-
instead of putting in store
Yeah.
and, you know, filling up your store.
I
So
feel
right,
some
it's better
extra
because
things
sometimes, you know,
can
you get
share.
extra
Yeah.
gift.
Yes, I think it's
think
not
it's a good-
always about, you know, the gift being bad, but sometimes you have just plenty of stuff
Yes,
out there,
that's
right?
it,
yes.
And then you put it in your trunk or somewhere in the
Yes.
store, and then, you know, when suddenly sometimes guest comes in and
You
Yes.
give
Out
it
of
to your
necessity.
precious people.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and sometimes out of, you know, guests come up and out of necessity you have nothing, then, you know, you can re-gift that. So we all have the stories. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we do have some, you know, really off gifts that we really don't like it, right? Okay.
All right, the next question. Never have I ever lied to a boss.
Okay,
You know, whenever we talk about lying these days, मसलहत के तहत तो बोला जा ही सकता है.
mustard के तहत.
Okay, Fahim, can I ask your story? When did you lie?
Okay. Okay, my producer's like so many times, but my producer does not know me personally.
Okay, when have you lied?
Okay, a lot in school days. A lot. Because, you know, in school days, your teacher's the boss, right? And my producer's like, you know, slowly and gradually, Fahim's going to agree to all the lies that he's spoken all this time. But my producer's wrong. So, of late, if I talk about lying, I think it's been very scarce and not something that I could think about right now. But I think you should talk to all of them, and I think they'll share their stories. And then, in the meantime, I'm going to think about the lie.
Okay.
The recent
So
one.
Miss Adia, what did you lie about?
Don't ask me online. Don't ask me this lie in live show. Actually, you have to lie sometimes, you know. It is a big, you know, it is a big deal to confess even that you
That's
have
true.
to lie sometimes. But you have to, you know.
Yeah, so Harun, something you have any
No, no, I selected no.
Really? You have never lied to your boss?
No, I selected yes, but now I'm lying. I selected no.
Since we're asking about the stories.
So my selection has changed. I never lie.
You beautifully diverted away our attention, but we are still focused on that. We have a story to share.
Yes, you know, calling in sick sometimes when you're really not sick, but just want to take a day
we
off.
all do that. Yeah,
Yeah, we all do that,
Sleep,
so-
but we are not sick at all.
It's being recorded.
It is very small.
It's a small lie. Sometimes, you know, you do that. But only when you have your sick leaves, then you can take advantage of that and you can call in sick.
Right.
And I feel that, you know, in the lives that we're leading, they're so busy and so hectic and there's so much anxiety that even when you wake up one day and you're like tired and you're not up to your, you know, energy levels, then you can call in sick and take a day off. That has happened.
true.
That's
That has happened.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
And Shadi.
I believe if somebody says no, this is a lie, this is a lie. Yes, sometimes, you know, you have to, but mostly, actually, I don't want to lie. I always want to speak truth, and I always, you know, but, you know, sometimes you have to do, and I don't think it's, you know,
Sometimes the things are
yes,
so personal
sometimes
that
you have to.
Nobody
Yeah.
wants to lie,
Yes,
you know.
nobody wants to lie.
Something
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
are so personal that you don't want
Yeah.
to reveal,
To
you know, what
reveal.
is extremely personal and private
That's
going
the
on.
point.
So you
That's
call in
the
sick.
point.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yes. And Fahim, do you remember?
Yes.
Okay, you want to reveal it on the screen?
Come on, Fahim.
According to my producer, एक याद आ गया.
Acha, बताएं.
My producer's after me today. Well, I would totally agree with that part of anxiety, because there are some days, you know, when you just can't get out of the bed.
Bed even.
There are some days when it's so difficult to even move yourself or open your eyes. So then, yeah, you have to call in sick or talk about some engagement or some prior commitment. So yeah,
Right.
that's exactly when I've done it. And yes, I mean, it does make sense, and it's a forgivable thing, because in today's world, we all...
It's not lie, it is a typo lie.
It's a little typo. Yeah. Very well said. Well said.
Right. That's interesting. Okay, next
Alright.
We
question.
should ask.
Next
I
question.
think we should ask the same question.
Because God knows.
Somehow. We did
I've
not.
called, yes, I've called in sick when I was not sick because obviously there were some commitments and there was something private going on. I don't want to reveal. I think we all go through this, right?
Of course.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I do
Exactly.
it. Yeah.
All right. So never have I ever ghosted someone.
No.
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 You did? Oh,
I've
Oh,
done that.
lovely. We would
Okay.
love to hear the story.
So, it's always, some friend or colleague who has made a plan and then, not showed up, over a weekend or something, we all gather and, we friends sometimes say, okay, we are going to Murray, for example, and they don't show up or they ditch us at the last minute and then they're like texting us and, asking how's it going, are you guys enjoying without me? Then we just refuse to acknowledge them and we ghost on them and we tell them that we are not, we don't respond to them. So they're like then
That's their
wondering what's
punishment
happening,
for
that's their
ditching.
punishment,
Yes, for ditching
So I've
us.
done
Lovely.
that, and when you come back also, if they're following you and asking you for more details, you don't tell them anything, you go
That's
silent
true.
on them.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
I haven't physically ghosted on someone, but I've also technologically ghosted.
Yeah.
okay.
People.
It has made it
I
easier,
mean-
right? You
I mean,
just
sometimes-
turn off your blue ticks and you have you have ghosted on people.
That's true. That's true.
So I think we've all done that.
Yeah, I mean there are some spam sort of people who are
Yes.
just slipping into your randomly into your DM. So we have, I think, restricted or blocked some of them who
Unknown people. Yes.
we do
Now,
that.
since you talked about DM, I have one more question.
Okay.
Never have I ever slipped into someone's DMs.
Oh.
Okay. Oh,
You said yes. Now see,
I think, am I the only one? Am I being too honest?
we took an oath here in the beginning of the program.
I doubt that you all are being honest.
We are very honest.
so whose DM was it?
So this was probably the orchid days,
Old days. Yeah.
really old days. But yeah, maybe I have.
That's
You know, the
interesting.
worst part about Orchid was that you could see whoever has visited your profile.
Yes,
You have to think thrice before visiting someone's profile.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true. Okay.
All right. This one I would love to ask. And never have I ever Googled myself. Oh, you haven't?
Really interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you never thought, okay, what does Google say about me?
No, I never check.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Lovely,
Yeah.
lovely.
Okay.
Because we all have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
I
yes.
like honest opinions.
No, this
Yeah.
is good.
No,
We
that's
ask
perfect.
others
Perfect.
I think it is in a way healthier also that you just sort of don't worry about what's the conversation is going on online.
How do
All right. So the next one is never have I ever gotten a speeding ticket.
No.
Really?
No.
None of you?
no?
No.
Okay, I don't drive.
All
That's
are-
why I haven't gotten a speeding ticket. What about you people?
No, safe
We are
driving.
law-abiding
Safe,
citizens,
safe driving always.
and we are law-abiding
Yes.
citizens.
Okay, our
We follow
producers
rules.
I think people are not being very 100%
Honest.
truthful
So,
here.
if you apologize
not
to
do-
them in a nicer way, so
That's
it's like,
the
yeah,
way.
okay, you understand your mistake, so they allow you to go. So, they're nicer ways.
Maybe
to-
women,
Yeah.
maybe they allow
Yeah,
women.
yeah,
Yeah,
we are
Actually, I would agree with that. Maybe they allow women out.
Not men. They're never as forgiving with men.
All right. The next one is never have I ever played spin the bottle.
Spin the bottle, yes.
Yes.
No,
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Shazia haven't.
Really?
Truth and dare, spin the bottle. No,
No,
never.
I think I'm from, I think, the different generation. You people are younger to me, so
No,
Yeah, I
no,
mean, that
no,
was
no,
a
no.
physical game. Truth or dare. Okay, that's interesting.
Oh, even truth or dare for that matter, without the bottle.
yeah. Truth or dare. Yeah, with my kids. Actually, kids, they play with me.
Right.
So yes, I play with them,
Right.
but never with the bottle.
Oh, okay.
But this Eid, then you have a game to play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Truth or-
interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. The next one is never have I ever laughed so hard that I spilled my drink. Okay, for me, all the time.
All the
Okay.
time.
All
yes.
the time.
Never.
My life is very boring and very busy. So I don't laugh actually,
That
loud
much?
laugh. Never.
Oh.
I enjoy my laughing.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's
Laughter is a
nice.
therapy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's a
Especially
therapy.
if you
It's a
laugh
therapy.
aloud. Yeah.
But yeah, I never
Energizer,
spilled
you
my
know.
drink.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
What about your
But not that-
childhood? I'm sure you did laugh in your childhood.
Yeah, I laugh, but not that, hard laugh
yeah.
that my drink spills.
Since
No.
I think you need to meet our producer, Seher.
I haven't
She will
experienced
make you
it.
laugh
Maybe
so hard that
someday.
you spit
I
out
don't
your.
claim
Actually need to meet our producer.
Yeah, she,
Yes.
I don't claim that it won't happen in future, but yes, never in the past.
Well,
That's interesting.
Sahar, I'm sure you would like to have a meeting with ma'am because I think you need to
but I
do something and we need to make her laugh like that, like we do all the time. You make us do that, so yeah.
I can
Maybe I finish my drink very fast. Maybe this is the reason.
Even if you finish it fast, there will come a time.
It could be. Yeah.
When you're drinking and laughing at the same time, and that's when you spill it,
True. Okay.
All right. So the next one is never have I ever stayed up all night.
Oh.
Alright.
No, never.
No? Okay. So, is there any particular reason?
Particular reason, actually, when I have to travel, I don't sleep whole night.
Oh, really?
It makes me awake.
Okay.
That I have to travel, I might get late and all that. So
Ms. Shazia, it's very, interesting that you have never stayed away. I mean, being a mother, there are lots of countless sleepless nights,
And
you know,
see
with
how-
your kids, you know.
obviously.
Yeah,
So
I'm
how
very
come-
fortunate. My kids, they
Yeah,
go to sleep.
there are some fortunate and lucky
I-
mothers. Yes.
Yeah. My husband actually he's very cooperative. I love sleep. So maybe sometimes
Right.
I go to the cinema and I sleep there. So whenever I get time, I stay. I'm such a sleep lover person. So usually I sleep early and wake up early, and my kids are like that too. So from day one, yeah.
Interesting,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay. So, do you have a story to share?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I'm the kind of person who wouldn't do anything till the deadline is like tomorrow morning,
Oh, yes,
9
yes.
a.m.
That's
you
why
know,
you have to
so then you have to stay up the whole night and do
Yes.
whatever you need to do
Right.
to make sure that you meet the deadline. So I keep delaying everything till the last night, and the night before I'm like, okay, give me coffee and let me sit down now to do my assignment, and then I stay up the whole
happens.
night. It happens
Yeah,
all
that
the time.
happens.
That's
That's
right.
true. That's true.
That's very true.
Well, anyway, with this we come to the end of the first segment. I want to thank all of you for coming
Thank you so
here,
much.
Thank you.
being a part of our program, giving us time and sharing your Eid experiences with us and your family experiences. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Eid Mubarak to you once
Eid
again.
Mubarak.
Thank
Eid
you.
Mubarak to
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm honored you invited
You
us
made
here.
our Eid.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Thank
you
you.
so
Thank
much.
you
And
so
once
much.
again, Eid Mubarak to you and everyone out there. And after a short break, we will come back and we have a very interesting discussion lined up for this Eid day. Don't go anywhere. Eid Mubarak
Eid
once
Mubarak.
again.
Welcome back to World This Morning, and of course, not to forget Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak to everyone out
Definitely.
there, definitely who is celebrating today, particularly with this Eid ul Adha, and where we sacrifice our animals in the honor of the spirit shown by Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, where he devotedly and his blind following sacrificed his son Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam, because he followed the commandment of Allah, and Allah replaced the animal with his son, and this is the spirit. And that is why the case of Ibrahim alayhi salam is a very different and a unique case, because Allah calls him my friend, right? and
Yes.
this is the title that Allah has not doled out to anyone just out there. It was just reserved for Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. So Fahim, now let's start with the festivities. In our first segment, we have a very interesting segment lined up where we explored the Eid ritual. So in the second segment, we have a different setup of the guest where we are going to have some fun games lined up, and there are also going to be some of the interesting songs that we want to enhance the festivity of this Eid occasion. So without any further ado, Fahim, why don't you take a lead in introducing our wonderful guest?
Definitely. All right. So first of all, our first guest, we have Sayyida Fatma Hassan Gilani. She is a philanthropist and has graced us in our program with her presence. Fatima, Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PTV World and Eid Mubarak.
Assalamu alaikum to both of you. Thank you very much for calling me in. I'm really glad to be a part of the show.
Eid
It's a
Mubarak,
pleasure.
Fatima.
Eid Mubarak to you too as well.
And with Fatima, we have Arshman Khan. When we talk about Eid, we talk about festivities. When there are festivities, we can never ignore the presence of music and musical minds and musical people. Arshman Khan here is a singer. So Arshman, Assalamu alaikum and welcome to BTV World and good morning.
Walaikum salam.
And Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak.
Lovely. And finally, we have our third guest, that is Ayat Khan. She is a model and also has started her acting career. Ayat, welcome to PTV World and Assalamu alaikum and Eid Mubarak.
Walaikum salam, Khair Mubarak to you and obviously to all viewers.
Thank you. Lovely to have all of you here. Now, Fatima, starting off with you. You are a philanthropist, being so young and doing works of philanthropy already. I mean, that's something really impressive to start with. So when it comes to Eid, I mean, obviously, Eid al-Azha is all about thinking about others. It's about empathy. It's about looking after the poor segments of society. Is there anything special that you do on Eid al-Azha apart from, you know, your regular things that you do? You know, yeah.
Okay, so starting with the first, about 8 years back, the first thing that came to my mind, and this I need to narrate right here, is that I started, so for initial 2 years, I couldn't know where I should invest my energy as far as philanthropy is concerned. So what I did was that I had no idea. I hadn't focused on Read Pakistan. I didn't even get it incorporated. The first thing that came to my mind was that I should take meat and I should distribute it to the poor people. And this was actually the first activity. So I feel really associated when this Eid comes in as well, because at that time when the mind is really, you know, it's really fresh, it's popping up with new ideas, and I didn't focus on Iqra Bismi Rabbikal Lazi Khalaq at that time. So now I was looking for something to invest my energy, and this was one of the things that I did. So initiated with the philanthropy, initiated with distributing meat actually. So I think, and of course adding on to that, the day that we did it, it was right after Eid that we took the meat from our different homes and we distributed it to different villages, and those people were really glad. So this was my first activity. I really associate with this, and I think I would never be able to get off the list of the things that I started with. So yeah, this was the first thing. I really have this association, emotional attachment, I would rather say, so with this Eid as well. And since the very beginning, when I was a child, I don't know, somehow or the other, this is an amazing you know, experience, as in generally for a Muslim as well, that we have been bestowed with this kind of emotion that your children, because I'm a mother myself and I know how important kids are, and how much you are devoted towards them, and the love for kids, it's just so overpowering as a parent, as a person. So I just cannot even imagine how Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, how he you know, he was willing to sacrifice his son, of course, for God.
Only for Allah Ta'ala, yes.
This is an amazing thing. It really touches our heart.
Yes, and this is the Eid. I think you would also agree, Hajra, you would also agree. It teaches us a lot of empathy, caring about others, and sort of thinking of yourself as those people who are in a very impoverished state right now, who can't afford to have good food, and Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has given us the opportunity to have that kind of money in order for us to afford the sacrificial animals so that they can be distributed among the impoverished segments of society. Now, moving on towards you, Arshman, when we talk about Eid al-Azha, we talk about, busy affairs, we talk about sacrifice, we talk about the whole day, we are busy dealing with the animal, dealing with the butcher. What do you do? What are your activities like?
कुछ मतलब ख़ास नहीं होती, बस यही होता है कि मतलब खुशी होती है और
So, since you're a singer, Arshman, can we request you to sing a song for us? It's an Eid and we would like to listen to some old classical music. I don't know whether you categorize it as classical or not, but Nazia Hassan, I mean, she is the pioneer of the pop art?
The pioneer of pop music in
Yes,
Pakistan,
yes.
yes, definitely.
Yes, so we would like to request you to sing some of the song of Nazia Hassan.
नादिया से
Nazia Hassan.
नाजिया मतलब मुझे एक गाना पसंद है जो
Sure, go ahead. Anything.
हो गई उनसे मोहब्बत हो गई उनसे मोहब्बत हो गई उनसे मोहब्बत हो गई उनकी मर्जी मेरी किस्मत हो गई जब से वो हर ज़र्रे में दिखने लगे जब से वो हर ज़र्रे में दिखने लगे हमको भी सजदों की आदत हो गई हमको भी सजदों की आदत हो गई गैर की जानिब ये नज़रे इत्तिफात गैर की जानिब ये नज़रे इत्तिफात खैर है क्यों हमसे नफरत हो गई उनसे मोहब्बत हो गई
काफी romantic choice है आपकी. Lovely song, definitely. It's always enjoyable listening to good voices and listening to good songs, and romanticism is something that's the spirit of good music. I really like it, if you talk about me.
Right.
So anyway, moving on to Miss Ayat Khan. Now, definitely you are in the career of modeling and acting, and you've already been in different dramas as well. Of different channels. We would love to ask you, because definitely when it comes to these sorts of professions, it's very difficult to take time out. It's very difficult to manage everything else. So how is your Eid when we talk about Eid al-Azha, when we talk about Eid al-Fitr? But today, I mean, specifically talking about Eid al-Azha.
My Eid days are very busy because I have to record many shows before Eid. You know, we have to record Eid plays, which are for the obviously entertainment of people. So the people watch our shows on Eid, especially Eid dramas, funny dramas on Bakras, on Gaye Bhains. So we usually record this type of plays before Eid, so people can enjoy on Eid. So I really get very much busy in hosting, even though I host many shows on Eid, and even though I record many dramas. So it's a part of definitely Eid, and this is obviously my duty, because I belong to media. So I love to entertain public. I love to make the entertaining shows. I think that's the love of due to my profession. I love all these activities. But now I have seen that people are not that much curious on this Eid. I don't know why, but not that much happiness is there. When I was younger, I used to meet my cousins, I used to meet my relatives, but now I have seen that this thing is literally getting less, and I don't know why people are not that much attached with their cousins or with their families. We used to go to our mamus, chachus and meeting our cousins, but now I think things are very much changed, and I think you must spread love.
True.
Definitely.
And I think that's a thing that we would also endorse, that digitally we are very well connected, but physically there is a lot of disconnect, right? So we all have stories where we used to gather at the center of the gravity, usually our nani's house or dadi's house or grandparents' house, but this trend is reducing, I mean, day by day, because people are so busy, even engaged in the...
We are so much connected to social media.
Yes, of course.
We see updates on Facebook, Instagram, but we do not meet each other.
Right.
It
So
has made
that's
us
a big
lazy.
change.
That's
Yeah.
very true. So Fahim, can we request, because our producer has been also asking continuously that we need to request for him to sing some song for us, because this is something that we enjoy a lot, and Fahim has a very good vocals, and he's very particular with the vocals, not just vocals but also vocabulary. So this is all his I would say an expertise in the in this particular area of the music. So Fahim, please go ahead.
So this will be a romantic song or a Halla Gulla song?
It will be a romantic song, because as I said, I love romanticism. So yes, it will be. So here we go. It's from one of the lead singers of a very good band, Fusion.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. Although there is someone who's really popping up these days on social media, and people are going bonkers all over him, but I'm sorry, I cannot consider him a singer. I'm sorry, I wouldn't even like to name him. I'm sure everybody gets who I'm talking about.
Don't get triggered, just sing the song.
Anyway, here we go. प्यार तुम्हें कितना करते हैं, प्यार तुम्हें कितना करते हैं, तुम ये समझ नहीं पाओगे, तुम ये समझ नहीं पाओगे, जब हम ना होंगे तो पहरवा, जब हम ना होंगे तो पहरवा, बोलो क्या तब आओगे, बोलो क्या तब आओगे, मोरा सैया मुझसे बोले ना, मोरा सैया मुझसे बोले ना, मैं लाख जतन कर हार रही, मोरा सैया मुझसे बोले ना, मोरा सैया मुझसे बोले ना.
That's wonderful. बहुत आला जबरदस्त मजा आ गया. And I think we need to get a conversation kick started about spending the Eid. So for him, obviously, it's a busy affair, not just for the men of the family, but also for the women of the family, because of the Qurbani and getting the butcher out there. And then after the Qurbani, it's usually very meaty affairs for the women of the household, because obviously they have to cook up the kaleji, because it is the sunnat to have the kaleji. So Fatma, so what is exactly your Eid ritual? I mean, do you cook the kaleji yourself, and are you fond of kaleji or the meat in the first place?
Yes, I'm very fond of meat, as in general. Of course, most of us are, and especially on Eid, because it has a different flavor, it has a different tinge
It's fresh,
altogether.
right?
Yes, of course. But I'm going to add a little bit on this as well. Now, it might be a surprise, but I always make sure that whenever I have to buy, the animal for the sacrifice, so I go and buy it myself, by the way.
Okay,
Really?
that's
Yes,
interesting.
and even if
So give us some hacks, of buying a good animal.
oh my God, it's all intuitive. It's so intuitive. I think it is so intuitive, because on last Eid, I would talk about that first. So on last Eid, I just went on, and one or two of my servants were with me, and they were their helpers. They're very kind, so they stay around at Eid. So I always request them, whoever is there, to please stay around. Why? Because I know I have to go there myself. And so I went there and I purchased, and it was so it was a huge animal, but I just passed through it. I knew exactly that I can't buy this, because it must be around a huge amount of money. But somehow or the other, this is amazing that once you've set your intention, which is niyat, so once you've set your intention, I think I went about 4 or 5 times all across the place, looking for different animal, and I had my hearts on that one so much. I went there, started bargaining, and I don't know why and how he actually priced it really high, but more or less he came down to a, say, about a 30-40% discount. I don't want to say the price, of course, but so I think that is something amazing, and I started doing this, and so I started doing this after my my mother was going through cancer, so 1 year before she passed away, I started doing this myself, and I really feel connected. I think it has come from my childhood, because with my father and with my siblings, I used to just go and buy the animal myself, and I would be very happy, very excited in the morning, getting up, and then just asking my father that, Papa, just take me along, and he would say okay, because he was a very casual, very he was a very home-oriented person, family-oriented person. So he would take us along, and I was at the end of it, when I was 18, 19, at the end of it, I was probably the only one left going with him for buying whatever XYZ the animal. So I'm just so I generally think it is an amazing thing. We should feel the intensity of having this Eid, and we should enjoy each ritual of this. So, and yes, I'm not a very lovely cook, but I do cook, and I love to cook. It's a very nice hobby as well. So when I make
a very creative one, yes.
Yes, it is very creative. All the garnishing and the beauty that you can add on to the dishes. And I think one other thing that I would like to add is that when you're serving to people who have come over, yes, that's the loveliest part. Of the whole of Eid. So I've got, alhamdulillah, so I invite everybody at my place for the first day, because I know exactly that everybody is tired and they're not going to say no. So they are looking for good, nice feast. So what I do is that I invite everybody, and so at my Eid day, on our Eid day, I've got about 60 people, 60-65 people at my home.
It's a huge amount.
I love it. It is the thing that we're looking for.
Wow.
That's wonderful, and I think Eid gives us this opportunity to connect with a lot of those people who, I mean, because of our busy lives, because of our professions or some other commitments, that we are unable to meet the same way that we used to back in the old days, right, when we were physically very connected. And that gives us an opportunity to go and meet our relatives there and to spread out, and I mean to dole out the meat, because there is a part for the relatives also, right, in the Qurbani Gosht or in the sacrifice meat. But now let's move on to Ayat. So Ayat, since you belong to a profession, because it's a very demanding profession, you're, I'm pretty sure, very busy during the Eid days too, and before that too, with the recordings and all of this stuff. So what is exactly your Eid ritual? I mean, do you go and meet out your fraternity too, or I mean, you prefer spending it privately with your family members? So can you please tell us your experience?
Before, because my schedule is very busy, so I buy Eid gifts for my family. That's what I can gift them on Eid. That's what's the special thing I do for them. And I think gifts really increase your love with your family, with your relatives. And I think now the trending of giving gifts is also very less now, because when we were younger, people used to give gifts on Eids, but now this trending is getting less. And I think gifts always increase your love, your affection with your relatives.
That's true.
So if your schedule is busy, do buy gifts for your loved ones. I think that's the important thing. And now in this world, in this era, people really love gifts, spending money on them. That's what the people like. So I used to buy many gifts for the family, and definitely I visit them on Eid.
Right. So what sort of gifts do you choose for your relatives out there? And if someone wants to buy the gifts, which is your? I mean, do you go for the clothes, or do you go for something
Mostly
other
women buy clothes. They love clothes.
Right.
You know,
right.
There's a huge variety. Even though then they are not satisfied. They say no, the clothes were too much. I want this. I want that. And you know, whenever you go to the market, you like something for yourself. So I think women are never satisfied with gifts, and they always want, even from their husbands, from their susral. So always give them gifts, you know. And women's on this Eid especially, they do cook too much food. I think they spend their Eid in kitchen.
Right.
So they need appreciation through Eid or through Eid gifts.
Right. So Eid reminds me of something. So Fahim, if you have kids in your household, so I mean, this is not a, I mean, Eid wali Eid or Fitrane wali Eid, but generally, you know, they are demanding Eid and they are demanding, you know, give us some money because it's
But
the
even
Eid.
then, women's need Eid.
Yes, yes. So
You have to give Eid. You can't ignore
if
this.
you have kids in your household, I mean, you have a son, and I'm pretty sure you must have nephews and nieces. So do you give out the Eid to them?
Well, I think we don't have much choice there, do we?
Yeah.
Because when it comes to children, I mean, it's usually us who make that habit of theirs.
True.
Because we start giving them Eid since they're really young.
True.
And then by the time they get that understanding of what Eid is all about, it's ingrained in their mind that, okay, it's Eid, we need and we have to get the Eid.
Yes.
So yeah, this is something that I have to do every Eid, and I do, yes.
Right,
And
right.
it's kind of satisfying, as a matter of fact, because whenever there's more fun in giving, really.
True.
Because it gives you peace of mind, it gives you peace of heart, and that's what is required basically in today's noisy world that we're living in. Something that would give you peace. So yeah, giving is always good. Even you know, I'm sure you must have noticed, Hajra, whenever you give out alms in the form of zakat or sadaqah, it really calms you down. That okay, you've kind of helped someone, you've done something for someone, you've done something meaningful. So obviously when you do it for your own children,
True.
that is the best feeling.
That's very true.
The expressions that you see, you know, when you're going to have children, I'm going to ask you.
That's true.
When you see those expressions, those happy, festive expressions on their face, they are priceless.
I don't think so. You need to become a biological parent for that to experience.
No,
because if a
actually,
child-
you know, that feeling it enhances manyfold.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful thing, because whenever a child is smiling at you, and if you're truly connected and empathetic, so you can always feel that very radiating energy also going inside you, and
Yes.
you also get infected by that feeling of warmness and happiness. And I think this is what Eid is all about, right? Particularly. So now let's move on. So Ms. Fatima, so you also have kids, right? And I mean, preparing up the kids, and especially on the Eid day, and managing their tantrums, and sometimes, you know, because it's a Eid day, there are lots of guests coming in, you're going to your guest places. So and because my cousins have their kids, and I'm constantly watching, and they're like, you know, abhi maine iske kapde sahi karwaye the, and you know, he has eaten something and it's all over its clothes, stuff like that. So you know, she's constantly, you know, throwing her own tantrums and managing her kids' tantrums. So how is it like Eid with your kids out there? I mean, do you go out there and shop for your kids' own kids, and so how is generally your Eid routine?
Okay, so yes, definitely. So I've got it's my son. Actually, I just have one baby, and he's the world to me. And yes, we do shop, you know, before Eid, and I always take him along. So I think I need to. This is how I connect with him, through shopping, through learning. Even yesterday, we were playing a few board games together, and I think it was just simply wonderful. So generally, spending time with your kids is satisfying for them, but the research also states that it's also satisfying for the parents as well, and for the general you know, upbringing of the child. It's very important. And Eid and any festive occasions, they generally play a very positive role in developing the relationship with your children. So because I'm related with reading, so what we do is that we actually try to focus on the researches that are there, which can actually enhance the connectivity between children and parents, and we also see how it enhances generally, as in how the community and the society proliferates.
Right.
So that as well. And yes, as far as the routine is concerned, we do shop together, and I think Mohammed completely loves going out, because, and then I also make sure that if I'm buying clothes, they should be of his choice.
Right.
He should just chip in a bit or two in the color scheming or whatever that he wants to, you know, share with. And also I buy a bit of you know, 2 or 3 toys for him as well, so that the festivity goes to the maximum level. I just want him to be happy, because the way that elders feel happiness is probably
Infectious, yeah?
of course it is,
Yes.
but it's 10 times lesser how a baby feels it. That's more related with senses as well. So I know exactly that what I am feeling right now, if I'm feeling happy, he's feeling 10 times more happier. That makes you all the more happy. So I was going through this research. I don't think I should be taking the name, but if you allow. So I was going through this research by Vishen Lakhiani, and this was how you can spread happiness. And at workplace, and I shared it at a couple of times because I thought that it was very impressive generally, that at workplace what they had done, it was an activity done by him and his team, because he's a meditator as well, worldwide renowned. And so what he did was that he did an activity, how you can surprise somebody else. So at the workplace, if you have 10 people, you're going to surprise me with something, I'm going to surprise Hajra with something, Hajra is going to surprise anybody else. And so the circle was made. So the next day everybody, but eventually the important part was that I wouldn't know that you're going to surprise me in the morning, and you wouldn't know who's going to surprise you in the morning, and so on. So this was a circle that was made, and what they realized that the performance of those people, it increased by 70%, which means that if they were about to achieve their targets in about 6 months time, they achieved it in 2.5 months.
True.
So this is the power of happiness and the power of giving, like you said. So the alms and the charity, how it can be, manifesting for so many things out there, and for your positive self as well. It's beautiful. It's generally beautiful.
And thank you so much. And when we talk about spreading happiness, and obviously there's a lot of literature that has been written on what exactly happiness means and how to acquire the happiness. We have a game to play, right? And we would like in our own way to prop up or spread happiness, right? So the game is called this and that, and you have to choose one thing out of it, right? Without any thinking. And then we would like to explore why you chose a particular thing, right? So Fahim is also going to play playlist or podcast. Fatima, you have to choose one of that, and without thinking. Playlist or podcast?
Playlist.
Playlist, why is that?
I don't know, maybe it's
She was so honest in saying I don't know.
Okay, so Arshman, same for you. Playlist or podcast? Playlist. Ayat? Podcast. Okay, but what about
Playlist, definitely playlist.
Oh yes, of course you are saying that. Yeah, I would go with the podcast because I think I gain a lot, and because I have a very long commute, and I get a lot of knowledge early in the morning by listening to the podcast. So I'm a podcast person. Okay, shoes or slippers? Fahim?
Slippers, definitely slippers.
Fatima?
Shoes.
Slipper.
Slippers. I think slippers because they are more comfortable, right? Okay, chicken or beef? Fahim?
Chicken.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you Pathan? Truly a Pathan?
Indeed am. I used to like beef, but I've had so much of it, I don't like having it anymore.
Interesting. Yes. Fatima?
There can't be a comparative analysis between the two, but yeah, chicken more I eat, but I think beef's really good.
Beef.
Ayat?
Chicken.
Okay.
Actually, had you said chicken or mutton, I would have said mutton.
Okay, interesting. That's an interesting choice. Okay. Swimming pool or beach? Fahim?
Beach. Definitely beach.
Okay. So have you been to one of the beaches?
Yes.
Which one?
Not here.
Okay.
Yeah. It was, I mean, I was a child then, in my teens back in Dubai, and then also I had some of my formative years in Saudi Arabia. So I was in Jeddah over there as well. So I love the sound of the waves. It's very therapeutic.
They're very soothing.
Very calming, very soothing, and I just love it over there. Especially if you go at night.
That's true. That's true. Fatima?
Beach, of course.
Beaches?
Yes.
You've been to beaches?
Yes.
Which
so
one?
I've been to Jeddah as well.
Right.
And a couple of European beaches too, and I've been to, of course, Pakistan, Karachi.
Okay.
So
how's Karachi ka beach? Because there are a lot of stories that people like, oh my god, that's the very dirty beach. Yeah.
I think the other one, what's that called? So there's this general
Sonmiani beach, something like that.
Yes, so that's more secluded, and I think it's better to go there.
Right.
But just to find those, which is not very nice, but you'll find those shoppers lying around a bit here and there. A bit.
Yeah. I think as a nation we need to grow up a lot when it comes to throwing the litters on these beaches, and we are destroying our ecosystems, right? And we have talked about it a lot. So Arshman, swimming pool or beach?
Beach.
Beach. Ayat?
beach. One
And
thing
you?
I want to tell people that
Yeah.
I visited Goa, Gwadar,
Okay.
and they are very beautiful beaches.
Oh.
Interesting.
Literally, I was shocked.
Right.
Even
I
though
mean, we've heard about it, but
I
yeah.
have seen many beaches even in
They're
Dubai,
relatively untouched. That's why they are pretty,
but
you know.
Gwadar is literally very beautiful beaches.
Acha,
Oh.
that's
But
interesting.
due to there people are not convenient to go there, or it's very far from here, 9 hours travel from Karachi, Balochistan. But if you have not visited beaches of Gwadar, do visit them. It's beyond imagination. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, we have listened and seen a lot of Gwadar, particularly when it comes to Instagram or social media, and the beauty that Gwadar props up or spreads. It's relatively untouched. It's a very rugged and raw beauty, and it's beautiful, right? So if anyone goes there, so please make sure that you do not litter around, because as a nation, I think this is one thing that we need to grow up, that we
And
destroy
one thing that we really
touristic
do
places.
commonly,
yes. And I think the local community, so for example, I remember forgetting the name of that particular place, in the Gilgit side of that area, and the local community was so invested in protecting that particular area. So I remember there was one person who accidentally threw a wrapper, and the local community came up and they asked him to, pick up that wrapper, because this is our place and you are making it dirty.
Lovely.
And because of the beauty and the pristine beauty of that area, that is why it is attracting a lot of tourism. So if we make it dirty, what's the point of it? Because tourism will vanish or diminish with the coming days.
So okay, so in my bucket list I had Maldives, but now I think I'm going to add up Gwadar to it as well.
Yes. I think
But go in winters, because their weather is so hot.
Yeah.
In Gwadar.
right.
Because there is sand, so weather is very hot.
Yes.
Yes.
There is also a beach. Its name is Golden Beach, Golden Sand Beach.
I
Right.
see.
There is sand is golden.
I see in Gwadar.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
So why is that? Is it because of some mineral there?
Well, I don't know, but it's called Sand Beach.
Okay.
Golden
Sand
Sand
Beach.
Beach.
There
Alright.
is also another beach in which there is the history is Jazeera
Right.
came out from the beach.
Oh yes,
From the
yes.
sea.
Yes.
That's
Because it's
so
an earthquake,
beautiful.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. Jazeera came out of from the sea.
Out of nowhere, yes.
That's very outclass. And one more, Omkara Beach.
I see.
That's so beautiful. If you have not visited, do visit.
So I think we will add up in our bucket list,
Yes.
because I think this is a beauty, something worth experiences once in your lifetime, and that too inside the Pakistan, right? So we are always very lucky that we get to experience so many different landscapes within the Pakistan, and they remain underappreciated a lot, right, Fahim?
Yes.
So this is something that we definitely will experience. So cats or dogs, Fahim?
Dogs.
Dogs, okay. Fatima? Cats.
Dogs.
Cats, because they are cute like me.
I think dogs are also cute, no?
Lovely. And what
Yeah.
about you?
I think both of them, but I prefer going with the dogs, because my father was very fond of dogs and we used to have dogs, but now my mom says that either it's me or it's
Lovely.
Right.
Lovely.
Right.
Usually it's the mothers who don't like pets because they have to look after them and everything, and then they have to clean up, etc. So yeah, I'm allergic to cats, so I can't keep cats. So
okay,
yeah.
okay, that's
Otherwise, I like looking at them. Yeah.
right. Summer or winter?
Winters.
Father? Winters.
Obviously, winters.
All over the winters. Okay, that's interesting. I
You
think
too?
no, I don't like extreme weathers, whether it be summer or winter. So I like spring or darmiyan ka jo weather hota hai, the
But
transition.
out of this, you have to choose one.
Yeah. So I think I'll go with the winters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a
all right.
necessity if it's a okay. New phone or new clothes?
New phone.
New phone.
New phone.
New phone.
I think I will go with the clothes because I don't have money to buy a new phone.
Well, since you gave me an option, I'm expecting that I have a lot of money to buy a new phone.
You can have a very interesting imagination because we are free to float in the world of
Yes.
imagination, right? So whatever.
So in my imagination, I have I'm loaded with money. So yes, I'd rather go with a new phone.
Right.
Yeah.
Horror or comedy?
Well, in this noisy, bad, stressful era, I think comedy. Yes, I would like to get away from reality.
Yeah, comedy, totally. No horrors.
Sorry?
Horror.
Horror.
I really hate horror.
You don't like horror?
No, even though they ask me for horror projects, I don't like them.
Right.
Really?
Horror movies, they are now picturizing horror movies.
Yes.
So I think this is a rubbish to watch horror.
And that is actually true, because some of the researchers say that you're distorting your mental peace by watching these kind of things, and it does.
Actually, it causes anxiety
Yeah,
when
so-
you're watching
Right.
it. Yes.
Yeah, so I prefer watching horror films in the daylight, not at the night.
In the daylight, yeah, okay, you can.
Daylight is fine.
The daylight is fine, but
But
not
they
in
come back in the evening, don't they?
I think for 24 hours consecutive, you're constantly thinking about, this
Yes.
happened. And
It's like, so basically, it's like when you're reading a book, one of the books that was very intriguing as well.
Right.
So you've seen the movie Exorcist?
Yes.
Pope's Exorcist, yeah?
Yes. So Exorcist, and in the novel, if you read that, so my father, when he read it, he actually narrated that he could smell the vomit while he was reading it, because your senses get so provoked while you're reading a book.
Oh.
So yes, so it is as bad to read a horror book as bad to read to see
To watch
a
it,
movie.
yes.
Right, that's interesting. And I think we would like to request our singer here to sing us a song and end up the Eid festivities for our program, but not for the PTV world, because whenever we talk about Eid, whenever we talk about Eid al-Azha, it's all about the Qurbani, it's all about spreading love, it's all about spreading happiness, and singing and song is one of the way to achieve that highness of the soul, right?
Yes.
Or to achieve the happiness of the soul. So Arshman, so why don't you go ahead and take the lead?
ये मतलब मैंने खुद ही
Sure.
बनाया था.
Okay.
लगता ये ख्वाब है, ऐसी ही बात पे हम तुम जो साथ हैं इस मीठी रात में. दिल भी कुर्बान है यारी के नाम पे, एक दिन की जिंदगी जीने के वास्ते. ओ यारा तेरी यार यारियां, ओ यारा तेरी यार यारियां, ओ यारा तेरी यार यारियां, ओ यारा तेरी यार यारियां. बेफिक्री में झूमे जैसे वो बंजारे, ऐसे हैं तेवर जैसे फलक के तारे. कैसा एहसास है, मौसम ये खास है, बिछड़े ना हम कभी, जीने की आस है. ओ यारा तेरी यार यारियां, ओ यारा तेरी यार यारियां, ओ यारा तेरी यार यारियां, ओ यारा तेरी यार यारियां.
Lovely, 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 lovely. Nice composition, and again, you happen to be a very romantic person, and I liked it. And because it's good to meet like-minded people.
Right, and with that, we would like to wrap up our show. Thank you so much, all of our worthy guests, for coming here and for spending your Eid with us. And I would like to wrap up this particular day of the Eid by saying that since it's Eid al-Azha, since it's the Eid where we do our sacrifice, and after the sacrifice, you will see that there's a lot of blood in your streets, or generally people just throw out a lot of, what do you call it, waste materials out from the Qurbani. So make sure that you are not just, because the community in which you are living on is also represents what sort of person you are, right? So make sure that you are there, you have wiped up all of that waste material and clean your street, because if you don't do that, after some time you will see that diseases started spreading up, right? So it's important that you make sure that whenever you do the Qurbani, you do the wash up after that, and do not spread all of that litter out there. And once again, Eid al-Azha Mubarak.
And don't just make the government responsible for that entirely and completely. Do play your role, and Hajra is quite right in that. And we should all play our due roles as far as being citizens of Pakistan is concerned. So yeah, happy Eid to all of you. Eid Mubarak, and enjoy it as much as you can. But obviously, we won't forget the people who are being oppressed in Kashmir, in Palestine. We pray for them, we stand with them, and we pray to Allah Almighty to relieve them of their oppression, because they're also our brothers and sisters, and may Allah bless them all. So Eid Mubarak to all of you.
Eid Mubarak.
Thank you all. Look after
Thank
yourself.
you.
Eid Mubarak.
Eid
really.
Mubarak.